So when can your newborn start to drink water? That's a question I get oftentimes from new parents, and so I'm going to address that in today's video. If we haven't met, I am Dr. Obidi, pediatrician at Partners in Pediatrics and Family Health, and the CEO of Newborn Prep Academy, where we provide content for parents who are caring for newborns. And so let's talk about that today. So number one, first of all, water is really important, right? We know that it is important because majority of our body is made up of water, and all of our important processes in our body, the way our body functions, and all the activities that the different organs in the body has to perform, water is essential to that process. And so it's important that your newborn has enough water in their diet. Now, the beautiful thing is that for newborns, if you're exclusively breastfeeding them, breast milk has all the water your newborn needs in those first few couple of months. Same as if you're feeding them formula and you're mixing it the right way you're supposed to mix it, according to the instructions of the formula you're using. That also contains all the water your newborn needs in those first few months of life. And typically, it's enough until the point where you start to add other foods to their diet. So at some point, you're going to start to advance your newborn from just milk, whether that's breast milk or formula, to start to add solids to their diet. So you're adding cereal, or you're adding pureed foods, or you're beginning to get some table food if they're maybe doing baby-led weaning, right? At that point where you're adding more foods to the diet, that's a point where you want to start to add water to your newborn's diet, because at that point there's not enough water in the formula or the breast milk to digest the foods that you're now introducing into your baby's diet. And so what will happen over time if you do not add water at that point is that your baby starts to get constipated. So their stool starts to get firmer and firmer, and at some point, they may be skipping days or having a really hard time when they're about to have a bowel movement, because it's just more difficult to push that harder stool out of the rectum. So it's really important for you to start to add diet to your baby's diet. Now, you may be asking, how much water should I add to my baby's diet? I usually say, for a newborn, that is probably about 4 to 6 months, which is usually the time frame for starting solids. If you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, I probably have another video that talks about introducing solids to your baby's diet, so you can look for it. But at that point, when you've introduced solids to your baby's diet, so the 4 to 6 month time frame, I will say aim for somewhere between 4 to 6 ounces of water, right? And so I will just, for instance, just do a 4 ounce bottle of water and see how much they take. Some babies will take to it right away. Some babies will need a lot of coaxing to drink water. You may have to offer it several times, but even if they only take half an ounce or 1 ounce initially, it will go up from there. But you are at least introducing some additional water to the diet to help with the additional food that you're introducing to your baby's diet. And how often to offer them the water? You could do it, a couple times a day or 3 times a day. I don't think it's as important as making sure that there is some diet, some water being introduced to your baby's diet. If you are not adding any solids to your baby's diet yet, and they're only on formula or breast milk, you do not want to add water to the diet. It's not like it's terribly dangerous, but what you inadvertently do when you do that is that you're depriving your baby of some much needed calories, because the 1 ounce or half an ounce of water or 2 ounces of water that you gave them could have been half an ounce, 1 ounce, or 2 ounces of formula or milk that has much more nutritional value for them, with all the proteins and fats and carbohydrates, than the plain water will have had, especially when that plain water that you give your newborn, who's only on milk at this point, doesn't really need it, because the milk already has all the water they need. So I hope that answered that question. If you've been wondering when to introduce water to your baby's diet, you just had that answered here. Again, this is Dr. Obidi, pediatrician at Partners in Pediatrics and Family Health and CEO of Newborn Prep Academy. Wherever you're watching this, I would just love for you to share this with a friend who's caring for a newborn or who's expecting one. And if you're in the Washington County area in Maryland, we would love to be able to care for you. Just call the office at 301-791-7060. All right, bye till next time.